Hello, everyone. I have a little bit more to say, so I hope I don't go over my time limit, but I will do my best to move through some of the slides a bit faster. Thank you all for having me here, especially the Findhorn Foundation and those who have made my trip here possible. There are a lot of people back home who also have supported me to come here, so thank you to everyone back home. This experience here at Findhorn means a lot to me. I've been thinking about GEN for about the last 5 years and about intentional communities and about the community I come from. So this is kind of the point I've been waiting for, very much looking forward to. So thank you all for being part of that. I'm here from Orville, which is one of the older communities and one of the bigger communities. I cannot represent all aspects of this place, but I will share with you a little bit of my experience. What is very important to me at this point in my life is the aspect of an unending education, of constant progress, and a youth that never ages. This is in our charter, so you can always go back to that. Orville is in South India. It's right next to the city of Pondicherry. You can see the gray area over here, which was once French colonized. We live at the blue dot, which is a green area now, but it once was quite deserted and quite orange. I'm not actually here alone. There are 3 other Orvillians in the room. So at the end of this presentation, if you have questions, you can also direct it at them. Orville is meant to be a township of about 50,000 people, which is quite big. But we have reached a population of about 2,500 right now. And this is both beautiful, but very challenging. I will tell you a little bit about what has been the recent difficulties as well. So we have about 50 nationalities, and what else can I tell you? We have communities within our community. We have different zones. We have the international zone, cultural zone, a green zone, a residential zone. Yes, okay. So these are our founders. Sri Aurobindo was actually part of the independence movement in India. He fought alongside Gandhi for India's freedom. And at some point, he moved to Pondicherry, where he began writing and developing his philosophy on integral yoga. And he was later joined by Mira Alfassa, who we call the mother. And she really envisioned that in order to manifest this integral yoga, it would be good to have a community and a space to live that. So Orville and the concept of integral yoga is really an experiment. It's a place where we try and live the yoga in our daily life. We put it into our work, and it is part of our service. It's very much a part of conscious evolution, and the idea that we do things with awareness. There's a lot more you can read, many, many books, but that's my small understanding of this huge philosophy. So one beautiful thing about Orville is that it was founded in 1968, and this is quite recently after India's independence in 1947. So I think it's a huge gift from the country and from the people to welcome so many foreigners back so soon after gaining their independence. I'm actually Dutch Indian by nationality, so the conversations around nationality and just the awareness that it's such a new part of our society. We haven't actually had such strict nation states and borders. We've lived with shifting landscapes for many years. I don't feel that we should dwell on it for too long, and I hope that eco-villages at some point also take this on as as a new challenge to question whether nationality is really that important, and whether we can find new ways of interacting. So this is the Orville Charter. I'm not going to read it to you, but you can find it online, or I can give it to you later on. This is a little bit about Orville's development over the years. I'm a third-generation Orvillian, so my grandparents came in the early 60s, 70s, started building Orville. There was nothing much there at that time, just dry land and a lot of dirt, not a lot of water. So their primary work was bringing back the watershed, planting trees, making it livable. My parents' generation, they were more focused on building the infrastructure for the community, building the institutions, building a society. And my generation is doing many different things, but in some way we haven't really had that cause yet. Many of us are still looking for it. So, okay. But of course, we're very aware that we live in a time of crisis, and we feel it in Orville as well. We've had a couple of cyclones, we've had a tsunami, and we continue to experience the erosion, not just within Orville, but within the communities neighboring and within India. So it becomes more apparent to every one of us there that we need to really work on not just a few solutions we've already developed, but work on solutions, many, many more solutions, and find a way to bring them to the world. These are some of my favorite aspects of Orville. So integral education is what I was brought up with. It's very similar to other holistic educational programs in the world, but it's really something I've also experimented teaching myself in what we call Orville's outreach schools. So I explored the possibility of bringing this type of new education to India. Awareness through the body is one of our classes we've had in school, which is just a lot of fun. We explore the different senses, and we explore evolution, and we explore cells, and we do lots of fun activities. This is very much part of integral education, but also the integral yoga. We like the word integral a lot, so you'll keep seeing it coming back here and there. Then we have this unit with a shop called Swarm Sound Healing, and they make amazing instruments, both very ancient instruments, but they develop new ones as well. Right before leaving Orville to come to Findhorn, I actually got a sound bath lying on one of these sound beds, which put me into a deep relaxation stage within about 20 to 30 seconds, which I thought was just amazing. We have Prakti, which is a very high-efficient type of stove where you burn firewood, but it emits a lot less smoke, which is great for rural areas and for the women in their homes that often have to inhale this. We have Pro, so some people in Orville are developing new ways to deal with our poo and new ways to find solutions for keeping our houses hygienic with different solutions and bottles, and different types of toilets. You might have all heard of compost toilets and so on. We have EcoFemme, which I think is brilliant. It's a cloth alternative to the pad, which is, I think, one of our biggest environmental hazards. So this is great. Every pad EcoFemme sells also gives a pad back to a girl in one of the Indian villages. So a pad for a pad program. We have Sunlit Future, which is bringing solar to India, to all the different villages that are in need of a little bit extra electricity for either pumping water or lights for their schools. Actually, they're doing a lot more work for India than they're doing for Orville, which I think is so beautiful because there's a sense of selflessness as well. This is my friend Ribu and Chandra. They started games around trash. So Garbology and Pick It Up are two of these kind of games that are going into the schools and raising awareness with a lot of fun, but also with a lot of work in the communities. And then we have Sadhana Forest, which is actually a community within Orville that has now brought its reforestation methods to Kenya, to Haiti, and they're doing amazing work. You can find their website as well online. We have Green Practices, one of my favorites. They offer short courses, and there are a lot of Orville consultants working with this organization, and yeah, okay. So my story a little bit, I'll try and wrap it up. We have this immense freedom in Orville. We're both government, we're supported by UNESCO, but we're also very independent to make our own decisions. And this has been very difficult, especially for the youth and for myself. I had to actually leave Orville out of frustration for living within such a small community, I called it at that time, and come back with a sense of appreciation and love and fall back into the real work. So this is what really inspired me in coming back to Orville. It's this concept of integral rural development and a project called Sustainable Enterprise Development in the Orville bioregion. So working with people in the villages to identify their sustainable solutions and Orville sustainable solutions, and really encourage those enterprises to develop for India and for ourselves. And this sense of that Orville would not have been possible without India, without the villages who taught us initially what to plant and how to plant, and this indigenous knowledge that my generation seems to take for granted. So reconnecting to our elders, reconnecting to the reason of why Orville is there. Then the idea of the Sustainable Livelihood Institute developed, thanks to Joss, also sitting in the crowd. It's very much tied to this project I just told you about, and it's a joint collaboration between Orville and the government, which is one of a kind and very unique and quite a privileged, I think, for an eco-village. I hope that one day this campus that is being built right now to help work with and educate many of the government officials will also become a campus for Orville's higher education. So when I realized this, I also realized our generation is not really ready for this campus. We don't have enough teachers, and perhaps we don't have enough youth that might actually study there. So my work in the recent months began working with youth. And I worked with my friends and my extended families, and we asked each other the questions: do we just want to be silly monkeys drinking toxic sodas or hanging around not doing much, or do we want to stand together and gain some maturity and take some responsibility in our community? And of course we, a few of us at least, chose to do something about it. So we don't want to become another Pondicherry with the sprawling pavements and the ever-extending grayness. We want to remain green in some sense, and we want to build a city for the future that we're proud of. So we came up with a service called YouthLink that's now part of our community, and it came out of a whole community process where we presented to about a few hundred people, and we presented that our most immediate needs are housing, employment, and higher education. So we're not just asking our town hall to give us these needs, but we are actually saying we want to be part of finding these solutions and building these solutions together. So that's what we're doing. We have done many other things. We work with village youth groups. We have thrown a festival of ideas to collect ideas. We do walks, which we call Walk the Talk, to kind of communicate with different people in the area. And now we have an office. So we have a physical space to do the work from, which is a huge blessing. We have many community meetings, many smaller meetings on different topics. We don't work with just youth, we work with every aspect of the community. And our plans? Orville turns 50 in 2018, so we hope to organize some sort of conference or festival and invite especially the youth of the world and next gen, perhaps, to Orville to participate. And I would love to talk a lot more, but since my time is up, I will tell you that I have a stall with some of the leaflets and products from Orville for the next 3 days at the tent. So you're welcome to come there and ask me more. Thank you. I almost forgot. You're actually a Next Gen member, right? I brought a little present with me. So I would like to give this to Next Gen, as you are the youth.
Okay.
And it's an instrument from Orville, so a little bit of... I'll show you how it works.
Wonderful, thank you.
It represents the earth quality. And it's a lot of fun because you can either swing it over somebody as they lay down, or you could dance with it.
Oh.
So.
I think we will have an evening practice with how to play it. Thank you very much, Kavitha.